else thinks is true, while the actual truth will not be in accord and will thus be interpreted as being false. By feeding populations a constant diet of pseudo-truth, you can get them to immediately reject the real truth because it is an inversion of what they've already been told is true. Since this does not
Thank Manchin for protecting democracy and putting us first by introducing the Freedom to Vote Act.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Are you all right?
And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn that
girl.
that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. We choose truth over facts.
Who's in charge? This term for a long-handled gardening tool can also mean an immoral pleasure seeker. Ken.
What's a hoe?
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Jeopardy!
Jen Psaki ducking questions about Hunter Biden and his...
Ready to just move on? And by the way, there's only a handful of reporters who will actually ask her these questions.
Hunter Biden, the son...
confused by it. And I understand that. I mean, I really do. To me, it's not something that is difficult to explain because it came out of a real overwhelming grief that we both shared. And we were together and trying to do the right thing. And that grief turned into for 13 days without sleeping and smoking crack and drinking vodka exclusively throughout that entire time.
Hunter Biden's struggle with his personal demons is a big part of his new book, from an imprint of Simon & Schuster, a Viacom CBS company. The title, Beautiful Things, is a phrase he and his
was beautiful things. And I held his hand, his last breath.
Began dating his brother's widow.
After
Beau's death shook the entire Biden family, but the way Hunter dealt with his grief made headlines when he began dating his brother's widow.
After Beau
held his hand, and he took his last breath.
Beau's death shook the entire Biden family, but the way Hunter dealt with his grief made headlines when he began dating his brother's widow.
After Beau died, you started a romantic relationship with Hallie, his widow.
Yep.
When the news of that broke, how did people look at you?
I think people were confused by it, and I understand that. I mean, I really do. To me, it's not something that is difficult to explain because it came out of a real overwhelming grief that we both shared. And we were together and trying to do the right thing. And that grief turned into a hope for a love that maybe could replace what we lost. And it didn't work. It didn't work.
I mean, you said you lost clients over this, you lost business over this.
Yeah,
You had
absolutely.
to step down from the World Food Program.
Yeah. Well, I made a lot of decisions that I probably shouldn't have made. There was a lot more compassion and understanding for the people that knew me, but it was a horrible time too.
And then there's this.
Together and trying to do the right thing came out of a real
lines when he began dating his brother's widow.
After Beau died, you started a romantic relationship with Hallie, his widow.
Yep.